What's going on YouTube? So, I haven't really posted a video in a while for BDO. Um, been very lazy as usual through my holidays. We had a very good time. Honestly, I hate the holidays. Because, things aren't very fun when I'm not on my computer. And when I'm at my relatives, or well, technically my wife's parents, or in-laws, or however you call it, it's just so boring because I was on my laptop and I was like, damn, this is tough. So today's video is going to be about Woosa. Figured, a lot of people are saying this is going to be their new main and whatnot. But I'm pretty sure a lot of people are going to be struggling on the cooldowns, especially for new players, maybe on their first seasonal or their second seasonal or whatnot. So here we go. Let's just jump right into it. Hopefully, um, we get a part 2 for Awakening later, and maybe a PvP video out there if you guys really want one. But at the end of this video, I'll probably explain a little bit more about like what makes a decent PvP class, and then maybe if you guys are like just because the game does have 25 classes after all, or however fucking many there are. Um, but yeah. So the first thing to know about this class, I feel like she has two tier 3 add-ons on big cooldown skills, and the first one is your Shift RMB. And your second skill is your Shift Q, and it'll look something like this. And keep in mind, I have the add-on, or the cooldown right here in the middle. And then after every skill you cast, and you notice here, this is my spacebar skill. So let's say you're pulling or something. It's very good for pulling too. And yeah, you want to pre-buff F for 20 AP, like so. And usually after your F, you would just press spacebar. And then also have, since spacebar is my spam skill, I have attack speed on it. But it doesn't have to be on your spacebar. This actually brings up another thing, and that's, before we go into like the skill combos or rotation that I use, here are the add-ons. I feel like this is like the bare minimum. Um, I run critical hit damage 5%, and that's because both of these skills are 100% crit, and they're your two biggest skills. And you're not really going to be doing back attack damage while you're just standing there. You know what I mean? So I like to do, after the skill, you do spacebar most of the time, and then you'll dash behind the blobs of monsters, if they're not dead yet, and then you use your next skill. So that's why I have back attack damage on my DP debuff skill, which is down in F, and it also gives minus 15 DP. The skill itself gives 20 DP reduction, so when I move behind the mobs, I'll drop the back attack damage here. So I'll have my big skill, I'll have the 5% critical hit, I'll have the monster damage for 7 seconds, I'll have the attack speed boost after I press spacebar, which gives me 20% crit rate. And as you can see, that's actually pretty important because this skill isn't a 100% crit skill, so it just makes sense to go there. And then after wing beat, or your spacebar button, it's pretty much your generic filler skills until your big skill goes back up. So, this would be a pretty easy way to do it, mainly because every other skill is kind of dog shit. So if I don't mention this skill, it's probably like a useless skill, like an absolute skill, or like a skill that's unprotected. Um, Another skill I want to mention is up and E, right here. It's like Sangunja Bamboo or some bullshit. It's like a 50% crit rate, and it does like double damage or something. And I wouldn't use this skill until you're more familiar with the class, because again, it's unprotected on this bamboozled thing. So like, um, I mean, it's also a short cooldown too, so If you cram up E in there somewhere, kudos to you. But while I'm playing, I don't ever use this skill, even though I probably should, because it's just up E. Um, so I'll explain more of that later. So first skill I want to mention in this rotation is down F. So keep in mind, again, I have the DP reduction add-on onto it, and then I'll do down L and B right after it. And that's because I'm already holding down. And as a succession Woosa, you have 3 skills that summons this cloud thing, right? And one of them is protected, and it's the one I just showed you, is down F. One is like a hotbar skill. Where is it? It should be right here. Here, I'll probably just put on 6 or something. It's kind of slow. Wait, does it have to hit something? So it does have to hit something to summon the cloud. But again, it's unprotected, so I would never use it. And then the other skill is another unprotected skill. What's it? Thunderstroke? Prime Thunderstroke is down E. So again, I don't know why it's not protected. Because this is like, you know, a skill that could be used for PvP, but it's not protected. So it's fucking gay. So no one's gonna use it. At least as far as that's what I'm saying. Who knows? Some people, they'll use their... if you want to take the risk and use a skill, be my guest. Okay, so down F. Let's get back into the simple rotation here. And keep in mind, this is after your big skill. So it'll be like after Shift R and B or something. And then you do spacebar, down F, down L and B, Shift L and B, and space again. And I kind of went through it pretty quick, but it's down F, down L and B, Shift L and B, and space. And the reason behind this is because it just flows naturally, because you're already holding the back key. So it's down F. You're already moving back, down L and B, and then you're already holding L and B, so you just hold Shift L and B. And it does that little spinny move there. And then your spacebar is back on cooldown. So, and then after those 2 skills, I like to press Shift E and Shift F in any order. So here's Shift F, and then Shift Q. Spacebar, down F, down L and B, Shift L and B, space. And keep in mind, I didn't notice when I first played a class, but their spacebar has 2 hits. And it's like one of the strongest skills in your, like, how do you say it, rotation? Because it hits 10 times on the second hit. So this is big damage here. And it heals your mana. So he has a stupid amount of mana too, so you should never have mana issues on this class. And you shouldn't have sustain issues on this class if you're doing what I'm doing. And you do down F, down L and B. Because this heals you for 100 HP each hit. Freaking insane. Yeah. And that's a majority of the combo. And a lot of the times, so I'll demonstrate here. You could literally just work off of your Shift Q if you wanted to. Because, like, the cooldowns are very simple. So I'll show you right here. Here's a Shift Q. Here's a spacebar. Down L and B, or down F, down L and B, Shift L and B, space, Shift E, Shift F, Shift Q. And if you're lazy like me, that's all you'll do. But oftentimes you'll probably, if you're like going really fast, I guess you could. Okay, why are my dogs fighting? What are you guys doing? Be good boys. Alright, so, and if you're going through it too fast, you can just shift R and B. And also have some of these, like this is the only skill that I would use. It's in terms of like your awakening skill. Mainly because this is protected and the other skill isn't. Like, why would I use this skill when I can use a protected skill? And then I have another a couple filler skills in here, just their skill enhancements. I chose this one, and I chose this one because they're both frontals, and they both CC. And they seem to be good damage here. 100% crit rate, 100% crit rate. Both skills, they debuff and they stiffen, so... And then I have Spring Blossom here for some healing. Even though you don't need it, but who knows. And you'll see the 3 skill enhancements here. Technically I should probably have the cooldown on down F on a hotbar over here. And if you're new and you don't understand how to do that, it's just your skill cooldown slots here. And then you just look for down F. And you're like, oh, cloud carve. And you just put it on a little thing here. There we go. Now I have it right there. So now I can move my my awakening skill here. Here is my 2 skill enhancements, my 3 skill enhancements, and I think that's it. So if you're looking to PvP, I would also add your up R&B in here, right here. Flutter kick. And it's on a 5-second cooldown, forward guard float. So you would probably always keep track of when, where is it at? I just lost it. Up R&B. I think it's up top somewhere. Oh, there we go. Up R&B. It is flutter kick. On 5. So every time this goes on cooldown, you get float for PvP. But before I jump into PvP, I'm pretty sure there's a few other things people are probably wondering about because I only have 4 skills here. 2 good contenders here would be Shift E and Shift F. Mainly because they go off so fast and they go together. You could put like accuracy and evasion debuff here if you really wanted to. I know there's some people that really like that, but I don't really do that. Where is up E? And up E is your evasion debuff skill also, by the way. So that's where I was saying you could cram in it. Like that. And that would be Shift F, Shift E, up E, Shift Q. So I know it's kind of all over the place, but and it's just easy because a lot of times just holding shift, you press F, you press E, and then you press Q. So that's why I use shift F, shift E. Like so. I tried hotbarring it before to see like how lazy you could be with this class. And you can't. I mean, you can hotbar it, but it goes off slower, or it feels slower. I shift F, shift E, shift Q. Hit shift R and B. And sometimes I'll forget to shift L and B. No big deal there, honestly. Because usually, after your spacebar skill, oh, that should do again. You can just shift L and B right after. A couple of other skills that are in there that you could squeeze in if you really wanted to. Again, it's your up E. So down F, down L and B, shift L and B, space bar, shift F, shift E, up E, shift Q. Space bar, down F, down L and B, shift L and B, shift F, shift E, up E, shift Q. But it's on cooldown, so you shift R and B. And you notice there's a 2-second cooldown there. So you're pretty flexible on what you can do. I recommend just using shift R and B, and then your shift Q will be back on cooldown, and you'll do it all over again. So shift Q, space, down L and B, or down F, down L and B, shift L and B, space. You could shift R and B here. That would make sense. And then you just go down with the motions again. Like so. Or you could wing beat, shift R and B, and then use a combo. Something like that. And keep in mind, this is all of attack speed on the spacebar add-on. And if you're using your 100% with the 25% cast speed, if people don't know your Black Spirit Rage, you might still have room for filler, but even then, I feel like sometimes I forget to use my F buff for AP, so that's when you could do it. So obviously, it's probably easier to just press F, space, pull the mobs, and be behind them. Use your rotation of skills, and then jump behind them. If you're lazy, I think you don't even have to move your camera around. You could just do shift and hit L and B, like so, and then you do your skill or whatever, and then you move pack to pack with shift space, like so. Alright, and that's it for the PvE portion of this video. Hopefully this helps you guys out, because whenever I watch a fucking guide on BDO on how to play a class, they really overcomplicate it. They say skill names, and I'm like, what the fuck is... So if I was like to someone that just picked up the class, and I'm like, yeah, just use Rain Thirst, Cloud, fucking Stormfall, Cloud Carve, Wing Beat, like, what the fuck? What the fuck is this guy talking about? But yeah, video's getting a little bit long, but and again, this part is for people that want to PvP. Again, I like to do like meat and potatoes with some classes. It doesn't seem like this class doesn't have very much CC at the very beginning. And based on her like millions of frontals and her movement speed debuffs, I feel like you would want to put like an attack speed debuff on some of your skills here, especially Shift Q here, or maybe Shift E, because Shift E goes off very fast if you haven't noticed, but it doesn't really debuff, and it's a stiffen if you have your Storm Cloud effect. So, and a lot of the other skills, they have like an additional effect. The main one that you want to worry about is Shift Q. Where is it? Because it stuns on hits here. But you need a cloud up, so a lot of times you're going to be moving around like this with your Shift key, and then down F and insert whatever skill you want. So like Shift R and B there, it literally did nothing in terms of like CC, even though it says it stiffens, but that's just a stiffen on what is it? The storm cloud effect. I don't think I was even close enough. See, there's a stiff right there. But again, it's very weird because you have to move, and then hopefully in that time frame they don't hit you at the same time. So a lot of times it'll be you using down F, and then when they get close, you shift Q, and they'll be your big stun, and then you'll follow up with up R and B as your float. And up R and B is on 5-second cooldown, so you can use it a lot. And then, as I mentioned earlier, this class you're gonna be using your skill enhancement skills a lot. And if you missed it, it's Crescent Swirl and Cloudburst. Maybe because this one stiffs and is a forward guard, and this one is a forward guard with a knockback and movement speed debuff. I wouldn't use Shift X here because, again, it's like, yeah, sure, it's a super armor, but at the same time, it doesn't CC, so you're just kind of sitting there looking retarded while using this skill. You could probably use it if you're like a hardcore PvE grinder, because it looks like it does a good amount of damage here. It's like a 10-hit skill, but it looks kind of slow though, so I don't know. Who knows? I would still rather use the frontals on these two skills because they both CC, and then you just follow it up with a R&B right there. And then after those two skills, like if you do land your CC, it'll be obviously a down smash. And as you notice there, your Shift E is a down smash. And mainly I only would recommend using Shift E. There's no other good skill in there that's protected. So a vast majority of the time it'll just be a Shift E for the down smash. You could use your fan skill on spacebar, but that's like you're really committed to this combo here because it's a double cast, like so. And then he got, so it's just a constant CC like that. So it's up, spacebar, and you see how it didn't do the down smash there because this is a float, so they're not CC as long. So you have to cast it right afterwards to get the down smash. So I feel like it's easier to just up E and spacebar right off the bat, but again, this is just, you're just standing there in frontal. So a lot of times when you're PvPing, like I highly doubt you're gonna catch somebody with this, because it is a good range, but Woosa seems to be like a defensive kiting class, but she doesn't seem to have enough range. Oh wow, that's a pretty far knockback. There you go, stiff. See, like, you would have to land these two skills. Like so. So majority of the times, when you're using these catch skills, you're really just going up close. Yeah, it's just very weird because these are very short CCs. Because a knockback and a stiff. And then you would shift Q for the stun. Like so. But again, like the range doesn't seem very good. So you'd probably have to use spacebar right after. But again, spacebar isn't a CC. It's a down smash. So you have to use it right off the bat. And then down F to summon the cloud for the shift Q CC. Yeah, that's so weird. Yeah, it feels like how Guardians play is how Woosas would play. But I think you have so many core skills that you're using that puts you in frontal. So a lot of times, instead of just like trying to shift R&B, up R&B people like that and using these frontals, a lot of times you're just gonna be kiting backwards like this. Wow, that skill actually goes pretty far. So, and then you're gonna be sitting in your super armor like this a lot of times, and you can kite back. If you catch somebody, you'll do your down F. Or if you catch somebody like running towards you, you just iframe out and then they can't grab you. And then they'll also be hit by your slow debuff. So a lot of times you're gonna be doing a down F shift Q to initiate stuff just to get that stun. And then you're gonna back off immediately. And you're gonna try to land your CCs. And you try to sit in super armor. But yeah, like you wanna every time you use a frontal guard skill, you're gonna wanna back off with your iframe. Or just shift space away. Into a shift Q. And then you sit in super armor and react off of that. And then you use your again. Those are your 3 catch skills here. Here's a stiff, float, and a knockback. And then obviously shift E down F would be your follow-up in PvP because I don't feel spacebar being a good reliable skill to use. Like so, like even after that skill it didn't work. So most of the times when you do land a CC, it's gonna be a shift E, shift F for the down smash. So here's like so. But a lot of times, like, it's a very short window that you can use a down smash. Because, again, you don't really have a knockdown skill. If this was PvP, it would be amazing, but it isn't. So a lot of times you're just gonna be using your cloud, whatever the fuck it's called, and you're trying to do a stun. So a lot of times it'll just be a frontal shift Q. And then you just follow up that. And you back off and hope they don't grab you. But they'll have the slow debuff on them too, so if you do plan a PvP with this class, you definitely want to put like a movement speed debuff on some of your skills. And again, Shift E and Shift F come into mind. So you'd probably do your generic like what's it, down attack damage here, and maybe attack speed slow, or just put 2 movement debuffs on it, like that. And then your Shift F could be like your bleed or something. Because Shift L and B, I don't think it even, yeah, it doesn't even CC, but it's a super armor though. But I think they decided to not give, ooh wait, Shift F would make more sense to be the movement speed debuff. Because it already applies it right here, see it gives minus 5% movement speed. So you could just do the movement speed and attack speed on this skill. And then Shift E could be your down attack damage. So it'll be down attack damage, and I guess some people could put accuracy here because PvP, and you're like, oh, ninjas, but you could put human damage here too. So this is where your PvP add-on would go. And then now you have a fully functional PvE PvP function or add-on. You could also put like a tier 3 like 20 human damage here if you wanted to be the full PvP, and you tag her only for like tier 1s and tier 2 node wars or something. But I don't know if that's even worth it. But yeah, this is the conclusion of my video. Thanks for showing my channel support. I actually got more subscriptions through my dog videos than my BDO videos, so I don't know if that's saying anything. And yeah. Alright guys, hopefully everyone has a good end of the year. I'm out of here.